capacity compared to a normal, healthy red blood cell. The people who study tissues are called histologists. And what they look at is the fluids that are inside the cells and outside the cells, intra and extracellular fluids. And what they found out is that cooked foods alter the electrolytic balance of what happens inside and outside the cell, and so that more minerals are drawn in and more of incorrect minerals drawn out of a cell, and we end up with too much fluid in between our cells and not enough fluid in the cells. We're dehydrated. You ever noticed you eat cooked foods, you feel dehydrated, but you get bloated? Where's all that extra water going? It's going into the fluids between your cells. We're dead now, right? Due to technical difficulties, this talk is now over. Did I ever tell you the one about the... A man walked into a bar. He said, "Ouch." I'll just go. If you guys are quiet, I'll go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There's a hand down there.
What? There is. Any of these other guys work? So I'm not shouting through now. Anybody know? Oh, they're gone. Think it works?
What about that hand mic? There's one
I think it works, huh?
It did before.
Okay, I'll try it. Okay, can you hear me now?
Actually, it was better.
Oh, wrong show. Like that?
Yeah.
I really feel like a preacher. Immunologists have told us, as long as they've been studying immunology, which to me is the funniest part of the story. Ooh, now we're like... Absolutely. We're good. Thank you very much. We're enslaved to technology. Bow to technology. Oh gosh. Immunology is a joke to me, but that's a separate story for a separate day. But if you open any anatomy book for the last 100 years, it lists the systems of the body, all 9 of them. And the neat thing is that whatever is part of one system is not part of another. There are 9 systems in the body, unless you count genitourinary as 2. Then there's 10. And if we list those systems, none of those 10 open up any Gray's Anatomy or anybody else's anatomy book. The immune system does not exist. This has been a bill of goods sold to us. You cannot be immune in your health. Immune implies that you are not responsible for your own actions, that you are protected, like you have diplomatic immunity. You can run a stop sign and not get a ticket. How can you be immune from your own actions and not have to suffer the consequences of your own actions? The whole concept of immunity is flawed. How can you be immune? And if you are, how do we know which parts make up the immune system? Well, it's the things that keep disease away, right? Yeah, like my eyes. I see disease coming, I move away. I feel a bug in my hair and it's going to bite me, so I flick it off and say, go have a nice life somewhere else. Is my hair part of my immune system? I have an aura. Is it part of my immune system? It must be, because I know when I get around other people with bad vibes, I move away from them too. So it must be the aura, part of the immune. People, we are not one giant immune system. Every part of us is self-healing, self-directing, self-controlling, self-repairing. Does that make us just one big immune system? No, we're not immune. We suffer the consequences. You cannot break the laws of nature. Kinesiologists, that's a word a lot of people have heard. It's the study of human motion. Kinesiologists study human functions. And they look at us and they go, ah, funny thing. We don't have the build to catch or consume our prey. We don't have the slashing teeth. We don't have the claws and speed. Not too many people really have the desire to rip into a cow's belly and eat its insides out. Sorry, but we don't, it's just not a pretty picture. We're not built for that. We don't have it in us. The people at the NRA, the gun people, are telling us, they've got a position statement that says, teach children to hunt younger. Because if they get to 12 years old and they have not yet learned to hunt, they are unlikely to ever be able to acquire the skills, because they're going to find it to their dislike. They're going to find it icky. I don't think that's the technical word they use. He said you're just not going to be able to get them to do it unless you teach them younger. And so they have programs now to teach younger children to handle guns and to hunt. This is a very warped perspective on things. Well, I mean, when they're finally old enough to figure out that it's the wrong thing to do, we shouldn't let them figure that out, so let's brainwash them young. The study of neurology, the nerves that run our body. Have already concluded that cooked food dulls the function of the nervous system in several ways, including interfering with the electrical stimulus that happens at every break in the nerves. You know, your nerves travel fast. They travel at the speed of light. They send a message through electricity, but at every juncture of the nerve, designed simply to slow it down so that it happens at 300 miles an hour instead of 186,000 miles a second. Could you imagine if your reflexes were 186,000 miles a second? Oh, you give yourself such a headache. Woo! You could actually launch yourself into orbit if you could respond at 186,000 miles a second. At every juncture, the chemistry is interfered with by the altered mineral content of acidic minerals found in cooked foods. And that the blood's ability to carry oxygen to the brain is reduced with the consumption of cooked foods, heated fats, heated proteins, and